Come at me, bro. Come on. Yes, yes, come on. Yeah! Oh. Okay. GG. Hey, wait a minute. Wow. What happened? Oh, dude, really? What did I do? Why can't we be friends? Yeah, AMX. Show him who's boss. Yeah, alright. I see. Hey guys, Sauber here. Quick edit before the video begins. It's finally coming. The T-64BV, and I was right. Kind of. It's going to be indeed a modification to the original T-64B. It'll have that Contact 5 ERA armor plate modification. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing will perform. And in, I guess you could call it celebration of this, I decided to make a video for the T-64. Well, I actually had a video for it, and I was going to put it off in favor for the STRV video, but then I thought, well, I have this T-64B video just laying around. And they recently announced the T-64BV as a modification. So having said that, the following gameplay will feature the T-64B. And I will also discuss what we could expect from the BV model. So without further ado, let's go back to the original video. Howdy folks, Sauber here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are going to highlight the top tier for Soviet MBTs as of 1.77, the T-64 Bravo. In fact, why don't we change it real quick from my custom late camouflage to my early camouflage. Oh yeah, that's much better. Anyway, this thing, although it has poor mobility, its main strength is the gun. 3BM15, 440 millimeters of penetration. 3BM22, which we don't have yet, 475. Heat at 550. HE at 35, and there's an additional HE with 47. And then the ATGMs with 650, and I don't really use the ATGMs that much. I mean, I have them loaded for backup to coincide with the heat, like if I see an armored car or whatever, but generally I just use the Sabo. And as you see here, the breach is hardly armored at all. I mean, look at that. You have an excellent turret, but there's nothing protecting the breach hardly. 50 millimeters, so if you're close range, aim at that. Or if you're lazy or prefer to aim at the hull, your choices are either the lower plate, which is a little iffy, but there's a weak spot right on the driver port where the driver is, where there's not a lot of composite. Yeah. They could have added at least 2 more layers out of the 5, but that's okay. There's a little bit of ammo in the fuel tank. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this thing out. The first time I tried doing this, it was a little painful, but nonetheless, I ended up having fun later, as you'll see in these battles. So without further ado, let's get into it. So welcome to Kursk, and this illustrates finally how the T-64 is slow. It reverses slow, it drives slow, and overall it's just slow. So generally, this is not a frontline tank. You definitely you don't rush a cat point because everything else is going to beat you. KP Z70, Leopard 2K, M1 Abrams, and the like. But as you saw here, you can easily bounce shells from the front via 9.0 tanks. 9.3 and 7, well, you just gotta hope that they don't aim for your lower plate or your breach. But if they aim anywhere else, you're pretty much gonna withstand it easy. But like most other MBTs, it has good armor on the front, but this is the thing I don't get. On the T-64, this actually applies to both models, it has good turret armor, even on the side, but its hull armor is less than 100 millimeters. I think it's 80 millimeters to be exact. So, with older generation tanks, you can angle and it'll save you. If you try to do the same thing with an MBT, you're not gonna last very long. I could just think of the number of times I have destroyed not only Abrams, but other T-64s by simply aiming for their weak side armor, even if they're only angled slightly. Even if they're facing front at me, and I can aim at their weak side armor, even if it's only at like, what, 80 degrees horizontally, they just go boom. It's ridiculous. But as you saw, I was able to advance with the Abrams and was able to capture a number of points and get a few flankers, but you could say I kind of got lucky there. Because other matches I've played on Kursk with the T-64B have ended disastrously. Where, of course, it was the Russians against the Germans only and no one else on our team, so that kind of played a role. The T-64 is generally not a quick flanker. I mean, you can flank a little, but if you want a ninja flank like what an Abrams or Leopard would do, your best bet is just to find another strategy. But, all in all, it is still a fun tank. And it does give you a little reminder of the T-80 we could soon expect to receive in War Thunder. Now, at the time of the making of this video, they have not announced the T-80. They've announced the XM1, two variations at that, which will be premium bundles, rank 5. One, the General Motors will be available as a premium bundle for PC and PS4, and the latter, the Chrysler, is going to be an Xbox 360, or I'm sorry, not an Xbox 360, good grief, Xbox One exclusive. Yeah. And I know a number of you guys have your opinions on exclusives, some of you don't mind, some of you dislike them. I have a moderate dislike for exclusives, in general. I mean, how can I put it? I'm okay with an exclusive if the requirement to get that exclusive item is not hard or expensive. Like, suppose, let's say, in order to get a certain package, an exclusive package, you just have to sign up for a membership. No big deal. Or it doesn't cost all that much to get it. But if it requires you to have a certain item in order to get that package, in this case an Xbox One, and bear in mind, consoles are not cheap. And even then, not everybody is a console gamer. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to play on a console all the time. But, starting in around 2012, I got more, or it's actually 2011, I got more into PC games. And by 2014, I essentially stopped playing my PS3. I mean, I still play it from time to time, but now, you're gonna laugh at this, guess what I use it for now? A Blu-ray player. Because why not? We like Redbox, there's good movies to rent. If we want to watch a Blu-ray movie or have some friends over to watch a Blu-ray movie, just use the PS3. No need to get rid of something just because you don't use it for its original purpose anymore, right? Anyway, enough rambling about that. Let's go back to the T-80. Or actually, let's highlight a little bit, just a little bit, on the XM1. Interestingly enough, when I found out that the XM one was announced, because I didn't read it first on the forum. I heard about it from a friend who happened to glance on it at his phone. The way I thought it was going to be when I heard there was going to be two variant models, because a lot of us forget about the Chrysler model, or at least I did, because I think of the GM model that you find as a premium in Armored Warfare. But, oh yeah, now I remember. I thought we were going to get one XM1 for the main tree, and then one as a premium. That would have made sense. And I mean, having them both as a bundle, I guess is okay. But like I said with the exclusives, if you're okay with it, I'm happy for you. But if you disagree, I'm with you. But that's just me. Now for the T-80. As I mentioned in a previous video, which T-80 could we expect to receive in War Thunder? Because now that we have found out that we're going to get the T-64B. Hang on a second. You're about to see something really painful. Wait for it. And yeah. Flanked by an Abrams. I mean, I kind of expected it. My rear was facing their base, and I was trying to capture B, but you get flanked easy in the T-64, that's for sure. Generally speaking, of course. Sometimes, as you'll soon see, you can get lucky. Now that we know that we're going to get the T-64BV, at least as a modification, I'm kind of leaning towards the possibility we might get the T-80B. And possibly, the T-80BV. Most likely as a modification, just like will be a modification for the T-64BV. But we'll just have to wait and see. But, oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention the ERA that'll be used, or that was used, on the T-64BV, and I'm probably not saying this right, the Contact, my goodness, that sounded German. You know what? Hang on a second. Kontakt-Vet. I had to Google that real quick. The Kontakt-Vet is, this is taken from Wikipedia, is a type of second-generation explosive reactor armor. We all know that means ERA, originating in the good old USSR. It is the first type of ERA which is effectively able to defeat armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding Sabo rounds. Wow. Oh! Really? So, it turns out I was wrong about the introduction year for the T-80U. It was actually 1985. It wasn't 1988. But the T-80B, of course, was... I got ahead of myself, sorry. The original T-80 was from 1976, T-80B 1978, and then the BV was 1985, the same year as the T-80U. But, I don't know. Could we get T-80U? Or would it be the T-80BV? Now I'm especially curious after reading that. Boy, I thought I knew the introduction year for the T-80U, but boy was I wrong. Anyhow, let's highlight a little on the battle here. So, normally, like I said, it's not always... sorry, I said that wrong. Yeah, I was right. It's often good to, like, wait behind the enemy lines and let the enemies come to you. Of course, it depends on the map. This version of Hurtgen Forest is especially useful for it. That's already my second tank destroyed, and I've barely moved much. And also, I forgot when they added this, but they added the ability for the enemies to be highlighted. Not by scouting, like through light tanks. I'm talking about like pings on the map. I guess because your team spots them. I can't tell you how many times I'm driving and I see a ping on the map and I'm like, where? Like in this case. I would not have saw or seen that Type 74 if it wasn't for the ping on the map. And I was like, huh? What's over there? Because I was wanting to fall back a little because they had alpha and I wanted to play it safe. Sometimes if I'm in a tank like this, I want to play it safe. And in this case, it proved very handy. So I was able to fall back a little and hang out with this other T-64A. Now you probably might have noticed, and I'm deviating a little, and I'm not talking about the size difference, but that my late forest camouflage is a little different than the one on the T-64A beside me. Granted, this is a user skin with my tactical stripes I like to use, but oh my gosh, I forgot about this. I feel so sorry when people do this. They're just trying to spot you in their plane, and they just happen to strike a tree. It's like, feels bad, man. Anyway, going back to the skin, as I've mentioned before, possibly in another video, you cannot extract all user skins. Like when you go to generate a user skin, it's only the default skin. And in this case, this camouflage I'm using is basically a modified default skin from the KPZ-70, which is the Bundeswehr camouflage, the tricolor. I know it's not called the tricolor, I forget what its technical name is, but I just call it the tricolor camouflage. Anyhow, and how did I get the colors? Like, you know, the green, brown, and I guess that's silver? It used to be white in 1.71 until they changed it the following patch. But, how did I get those colors? Well, if I couldn't abstract the skins, what I did was I took a screenshot of the camouflage I wanted to use in the hangar, and then I best replicated the colors as best as I could. Because it's not exactly perfect because it's a screenshot, but I like the camouflage I have, the camouflage pattern that is, and I use it for most of my user skins. So at least there's that. I am glad that you were at least able to get the tricolor camouflage from the KPZ-70, which, interestingly enough, normally the default green color camouflage... I know. You saw that right, my shot disappeared. One day they'll fix it. Just dreaming. Anyhow, the default green camouflage found on the other German tanks, like the Leopard 1 and even the Leopard 2K, that is a premium camouflage. I'm not talking like a World of Warships or World of Tanks premium camouflage. Well, the latter of which I'm not sure about because I don't play World of Tanks. But, what I mean by premium camouflage is like you have to purchase the camouflage in order to use it with gold. Which is funny considering the tricolor camouflage, tricolor Bundeswehr camouflage on most of the other German tanks, that's the one you pay gold for. But I can see the possibility as to why it's default on the KPZ, mainly because it's to help differentiate it from its cousin, the MBT-70. But then at the same time, you are able to unlock or purchase the brown camouflage using gold or by winning victories over other tanks. So it's kind of interesting to see that. I mean, can you imagine like playing in real... No, I forget. In simulator battles, like in the NATO Warsaw Pact, you don't have the MBT face the KPZ, so I guess it wouldn't really matter. But still. Now, the final thing I would like to bring up in this video is, now that the United States and Britain so far have been announced the new top tier, tier 5 premiums, the XM1 and the new Centurion with the 165mm gun, whoo-wee! What other top tier premiums could we expect for the other nations? Could we expect, say, the T-64 or a T-64 prototype with the 115mm cannon? a Leopard prototype, either a Leopard 1 or Leopard 2 prototype for the Germans, or other vehicles. Those are the only two I could think of at the moment. Let me know in the comments below what other Rank 5 premiums you would like to see or could realistically expect to see in War Thunder in the near future. Well, that is it for this video today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Thank you so much for your support, and until next time, peace out.